Good morning. This week in math, we're going to get into a topic in geometry. It kind of connects to what we were doing with our grids last week, and this is called they're transformations. It's the fancy thing it's called. And there's three types of transformations we're going to talk about that shapes can make. So let me back up a little bit and explain that transformations is a fancy way of saying different ways a shape can move. And sometimes we would move a shape on a grid, or sometimes we'd be just explaining how a shape moves across a piece of paper, maybe. And we're going to talk about translations, which will be our focus today, reflections, and rotations. And if we wanted to use some friendlier words to describe these, a translation would be a shape sliding across a page, maybe. So it's not turning. A reflection would be if you had your shape and you flipped it. Okay, so you're kind of seeing the mirror image. And a rotation is you had a shape and you're turning it. And we would describe our rotations in amount of degrees. So you might turn it 90 degrees or 180. Would be completely kind of opposite. So one of the pages in your work to help you kind of get a sense of the difference between a translation, a rotation, and a reflection is this page. And right here, I'm just going to add something here. You may have used these words before when working with translation, rotation, and reflection. These are more like the primary words that you might use. So a translation might have been called a slide. A reflection might have been called a flip. And a rotation might have been called a turn. So you remember flip, turns, and slides from maybe grade 2 or grade 3. That's what we're doing, just at a bit of a higher level. So in this activity, you are going to be looking at a shape. So here is the shape. Just take note, there's a dot on each shape, and that helps you figure out how the shape has moved. And then you'll see three different movements that the shape has moved into. So all these shapes here in question A, they're all the same congruent shape. And you need to decide if the move was a turn, a flip, or a slide, or if the move was, we should maybe say, a rotation, a reflection, or a translation. So to do that, you could try to kind of turn the piece in your mind. You could cut the piece out as long as you remember how it originally was and turn it. I've done the first couple here. I've set up a slide so that I can actually move things around. So in this first one, it's already done for us, but we'll take a look. You can see if I slid this piece right on top there, I know it's not perfect because you can't see through my piece, but we can see that it wouldn't make the shape just by sliding right on top of there. But if we go to the second one and slide our shape right on top, it looks the same. So that second one is a translation because it's just sliding your image from one spot to another. So now I need to think, okay, which one of these is a reflection and which one is a rotation? If I rotate my shape, I can click here and I can rotate it 90 degrees. That would be clockwise. And then, hey, check it out. I've made the same shape. So that looks like a rotation. So I'm going to go back to my beginning shape, go back to here. And I want to see if I can reflect this shape. So I could pull from this side all the way over until it crosses. And then I can take a look at what I've done. And there's my reflection. So hopefully this page helps out with you seeing the different ways that a shape can transform. All right, let's take a look at one more. This one here is our original shape, and you can see if I slide it, it'll go right on top of this one and kind of, it's going to jump to the background. We don't want that. but it will cover this shape. So I'm going to write in this box here that it is a translation. Ooh. Just having a bit of technicals this morning. Let's see if I can make this happen. Good. All right, so let's click off of that, and let's see if this is a rotation or a reflection. I'm going to grab it from the top, and I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. Kind of take a look. Oh, when I turn it 90 degrees, I actually notice it looks a lot like this shape here. So this is a rotation over here. We'll come back to that one and fill it in when we're done looking at this second one. All right, let's rotate it another 90 degrees to 180. Well, it's definitely not that shape. We'll rotate it all the way to 270. No, it's not that shape. And back to 360 to see our original shape, or 0. All right, let's see. If I pull it all the way across to the other side. Well, that looks good. That's where I've made my shape look the same as that shape. So, and when I do that move, that's called a reflection. Okay, so my shape translated in the first one. In the second one, we call that a reflection. And then we saw that this one here was a rotation. All right, so hopefully this helps you get an idea of what we're doing and just start to get you comfortable with distinguishing between the 3 different types of movements or transformations that we're going to be working with this unit.